Hi, I'm Nick from Sundance Yachts, and this is the Prestige M48. M stands for multi-hull. This is Prestige's 48-foot power cat. Because it's a catamaran, it's beamy, which gives it an exceptionally spacious interior. Prestige has done some really creative things with the layout. We're going to check that out, go through the staterooms and heads. We'll spend a little bit of time in some technical areas like the engine rooms, and we'll do some performance testing later on in the video. So if you'd like to learn a lot more about the M48, stick around and we'll check it out. Starting in the cockpit of the M48, you can see the boat is beamy. It's a very spacious cockpit. We have a nice cockpit table, teak cockpit table that opens up so you can pass through this area here. This section is removable. So you could position this seat around on the other side of the table like this. But one of the other benefits to this is you can pass through this seating. And one of the unique things Prestige has done with the M48 with the exterior furniture is it is furniture in this boat as opposed to being molded into the fiberglass, which is kind of nice. It's different than having a fiberglass box. Now and they are anchored down. They're removable, but they are anchored down. So these pieces aren't going anywhere. This one is movable. But with that piece moved out of the way, we can open this up, and then we have access to this center section of the swim platform. Now this is where the tender goes. So these are the tender chocks. So your tender, if we had a tender on the boat, it would be setting on these chocks like this. And then of course this section of swim platform is on a lift. So this will go down into the water. It'll go underwater about 1.5 feet. And you can launch the tender, launch and retrieve the tender. You can also put it just at water level for getting in and out of the water. It can be like your own private beach. And you can also put it at the level of the swim platforms on the port and starboard sides so that it's just all one flush level. Of course, when you're running the boat, it does need to be up out of the water in the up position. Flybridge access up the port side, right here. Ice maker here. There's there's a filter, an inline filter down in the port side engine room for that ice maker. A little bit of storage here, cup holders back there, a little bit of storage here. And these are manual overrides for the automatic fire suppression system in the engine room. So you can pull those and we'll take a look at those down in the engine rooms in a minute. And then seating, there is some built-in seating. There's some storage. So if we pull this cushion out of the way, we have storage here. So also on the port side of the cockpit, we have cockpit controls. So bow thruster control. It's a variable speed bow thruster that's integrated with the Volvo joystick system on this boat. So this boat does not have pods. It has shafts, but it has the new Volvo technology with the joystick that's integrated with shafts and the variable speed bow thruster, and it works really well. It feels just like driving a pod boat. Just lean that joystick over, boat slides over to the side, twist, all the things, all the motions, really cool. So you would use this certainly if you were a port side tie coming into the dock. Great visibility. I can see the dock. I can see as I'm coming in. Or if you were coming in if you were backing into a slip for like a stern tie or something, again, great visibility back here for that. All right, now we'll go down onto the swim platforms and take a look at the swim platform lift. Something else to note, when the center platform is up in this position and you're using it as an extension of the cockpit deck, there are railings that go into these sockets and stainless cable that goes in between them to make this an enclosed area. Over here behind this door, we have the controls for the platform, up, down, and the controls to open this door to that center storage area. So first we're gonna lower the platform. All right, so this is a nice position for this platform to be in. This is kind of the middle position. It's not underwater and it's not all the way up. So you can just use it as an extension of the swim platforms. You could be backed into the guest dock at Roach Harbor, for example, and or anywhere. Have this right into the dock. And then also over here, we have shore power. So the boat has 2 shore power lines, both on cable masters. So that means both sides you can press these buttons, and it's an automatic cable reel which will pull the shore power in. Before I put the platform down in the water, let's take a look in here. Okay, so here is the access to this massive storage area. Come take a look. I'm gonna go around and open it from the front, let a little bit more light in. So here's the cockpit access to this storage area. There is a ladder, and the ladder is intended to be used here and in the engine rooms. Let's see, it can be put in different positions, like so. We've got some lines in here. It's a great place to throw lines and fenders, great place for water toys. And then there's also there's a lot of equipment down here. So there's access, these canvas dividers. This is a really great idea. Really improves accessibility to what's on the other side of these dividers. So I'll go ahead and pull these down. Alternatively, you could have bulkheads in here, but then that would really limit your access. So here we have access to batteries and battery chargers and an isolation transformer that's for corrosion protection. Let's see, these 4 buttons are for overriding the battery, the main battery switches off and on, which are you'd normally do up in the Salon just to the port side when you're entering, but these can override those. There's some breakers, breaker for the inverter, breaker for the windlass, breaker for the swim platform lift. And then to the port side, we have generator and water tank. So here we have the generator, water tank, and then to the starboard side, another water tank. Looks like water pump. This is probably the main water pump for the boat. And then, of course, the motor to open and close the access door through the aft. All right, now I'm going to close the door to the storage area, and we're going to put the swim platform all the way underwater. This goes up just like it came down with this button over here. I like how they put the teak on the inside of this door, or when it's open, and it feels about as solid as a deck. I mean, it's meant to be stood on when it's in the open position. All right, and one more thing before we put this all the way underwater. Actually, I'll lower it a little bit, but we'll take a look down the center, and we'll take a look at what makes this catamaran. All right, come join me. Hopefully we don't get our feet wet. All right, so here we can see down the center of the boat. You can see the nacelle in the middle, which breaks up the water when you're in rough water to make for a smoother ride. All right, now we'll drop the platform all the way down. So this is what you would do. Well, you could do this for playing in the water. You could put chairs down here, and then of course, launching and retrieving the dinghy, your tender. All right, there it is all the way down. I mean, that looks like it's 2 feet underwater. I can't say exactly how deep it is. I'm not gonna get in and find out, but plenty of depth to launch and retrieve a tender. And then to get it back out of the water, just press the up button and it'll come right back out. All right, I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit. Come join me and we'll walk up the starboard side deck, check out the foredeck, the bow, and circle around, and then we'll come up the port side, go up on the Flybridge. We have 2 opening hatches, openable from the interior, not the exterior. One of those goes into, let's see, the head and stateroom on the starboard side. They both have privacy shades. The side deck you can see is really wide, really secure. This is one of those benefits of being a catamaran. Another opening hatch. I believe that one is in the master head. And then on the foredeck, great seating and lounging areas. So just like in the cockpit, this furniture is furniture. It's attached, but it's removable. So you can remove this. It's locked down pretty good. It is not a toolless removal. There's a stainless post with like an acorn nut on top. You have to remove the nut. I believe there's 2 on this piece of furniture. So it's very secure, it's not going anywhere. With a crescent wrench, you could remove this and leave this at the dock if you didn't want to use it. Maybe you're on a shoulder season trip and you're planning on running from the lower helm most of the time and you want to improve your visibility forward, you can remove this seating. We can see the anchor up there. Oh, and then let's see, right here through the deck is access to the windlass and the chain locker. So here's the remote for the windlass. So up, down on here. This is the safety tether for the chain. So you put that on the chain so that if the windlass were to loosen up, the anchor won't deploy unintentionally. And then access to the chain down there. And then this is another giant like area to throw lines and fenders, wet stuff. You can see there's a new fender still in the bag sitting in there now, but that's where I would just dump lines and fenders if you just want to get them out of the way real quick. And then on both sides is our large storage lockers. This is actually where we have all of our lines and fenders today. It's a giant area. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 large fenders in there and a lot of line. The other side will go down into, you can get a better idea for the volume. So this side is empty. Let's take a look. It's pretty much a mirror image of the other side though. So a ton of room down here. Again, lines, fenders, or I mean, there's room for water toys, anything inflatable you can put down here, or provisions for a longer trip. Tons of storage room. So we have these outfit for storage. Optionally, these can be built out as crew quarters. We opted to go for storage on this boat. We find that most of our customers end up using the crew quarters for storage anyway. So just to maximize storage on this boat, because it's a fuel efficient boat, it's a stable boat. This is a boat that somebody might want to take on a long cruise, a long distance cruise, maybe up to Alaska or something. Can't have too much storage when you're doing something like that. Sun pads, the boat does come with covers. You can see the snaps for the covers for the sun pad, cup holders, and then these 2 opening hatches, these go down into the master stateroom. They have bug screens and sunshades, privacy shades on the inside. There are these cool little pop-up lights that you just push and twist, and they pop up and turn on. Really cool at night. Lights thing, there's one on the other side of the bow over there. It brightens things up at night, and little accent lights. More hatches, so master head, and then port side stateroom and port side head access here. And an opening side door, boarding door. One thing I like about this boat is the angle of those steps coming up to the Flybridge is gradual. It's not very steep. That's nice. So here on the back of the Flybridge, giant Flybridge, lots of room, lots of seating and sunning area. These cushions have a weight in the bottom. They're weighted. They won't go anywhere. They won't blow away. They won't move in heavy sea conditions. You can move them around. You could get them out of the way and just have one big sun pad. It just gives you some more flexibility on what you do with the space. And then a nice big dining table, teak table on the Flybridge. And moving forward, more seating, forward facing seating. You could fit, I don't know, 3 people here comfortably, or at least 2. And then this is the primary helm station for the boat. 2 Garmin screens. Of course, we do have 2 Garmin screens down below. Really, the only reason it's the primary station is because you start and stop the engines from up here. Bow thruster control, joystick. There's 3 joysticks on the boat: upper helm, lower helm, and cockpit. VHF radio, Garmin autopilot control. The Volvo screen will give you all of the Volvo engine information. And then right behind the helm station, we have this Flybridge galley unit, the grill, and a sink, a fridge, and some storage. And fridge freezer, so a little freezer in there. The grill has an automatic shutoff, so when you close this lid, kills power to it. And we'll go into a little bit more detail on the helm when we do the performance testing. All right, now we'll check out the interior of the M48. You can really start to feel how Prestige maximized every inch of the beam, just under 20 feet. We have the galley to starboard, the lower helm station forward, and then this large dinette and seating area, the salon area here. And then the staterooms, the stateroom arrangement is really what makes the M48 so special. It has a full beam forward master, and then the VIP is on the starboard side, and the guest stateroom is on the port side. And that's different from how power catamarans in general are typically arranged, where you have the master stateroom on one side in one of the hulls, and then you have 2 staterooms on the other side. This is a much better arrangement with a much bigger master stateroom as a result, much more comfortable. Before we go into the staterooms, let's take a quick look around the salon area. So the galley, full-size fridge and freezer, induction cooktop, microwave, dishwasher, lots of storage. So there's overhead storage in the cabinets. Here we have the TV. The TV comes up here, it's on a lift. I'll lift that up in a sec, and that's directly across from the salon seating, so you have a nice view of the TV. So here we have the TV in the up position. Another detail here on the M48 is this extra detail in the wood. This is part of the elevated fit and finish of the M line. All throughout the boat, there's these little elevated levels of fit and finish, extra details that Prestige has done to make the boat more luxurious. And then the sofa in the salon is very comfortable. The upholstery is real soft. The cushions are nice and soft, very comfortable, and a big dining table. We have a starboard side door, so this is really convenient to access either the foredeck or aft to the cockpit, wide side decks. So that's a nice feature there. And then the lower helm, and with a flip up bolster. And I was running the boat from here earlier. It's quite comfortable, visibility is good. The primary station is the upper helm. You start and stop the boat from, or you start and stop the engines from the upper helm, but same electronics, great electronics. You've got two Garmin screens. Right now I've got the chart plotter going over here and engine instruments going over here, but these can be configured with whatever your choice of radar, chart plotter, sonar, fish finder, engine instruments, all highly configurable. Aft port side corner of the salon. When you enter the boat, this is where the main battery switches are, as well as the control panel to stop the generator and switch from shore power to generator. So that's all done here. You can also control the heat and air conditioning here, and you can turn all of the lights in the boat on and off here. So one button to turn them all off. That's really convenient when you're leaving the boat. And then if you want to turn all of the lights in the boat on, you can do that right there like that. All right, and now for the full beam forward master. Let's take a look. So here we have the full beam forward master on the M48. As you can see, it's so spacious, it's so comfortable. On the starboard side, we have this vanity / desk area. This could be a vanity, it could be a workspace, it could be both. There's a stereo control here, so there's an independent entertainment system stereo in the master here, also hooked up to the TV. Over on the port side is a nice sofa for lounging. And all around there's storage. There's storage under the sofa, there's storage under the bed. There's 2 large hanging lockers. And then we have the head is split into the 2 sides. So we have the head, so the toilet part of the head is over here on the starboard side. And lots of storage. Again, common theme throughout the M48 is all the storage. And an opening window here, frosted for privacy. And we'll go check out the other side. Port side, we have the shower part of the head, which is really roomy. So closing door, very roomy, spacious shower with a rainfall shower head and a wand here. These stone accents to really make it feel more luxurious. And then again, storage. And another opening window, frosted for privacy. More storage down here. Blinds for privacy, all around. Blinds across the small skylight windows forward. We have another opening window here for ventilation and blinds for that one. And 2 skylights up above. These are also opening and also have a bug screen and a privacy shade. So lots of natural light, lots of space, great amount of ventilation, plenty of ventilation. Prestige just knocked it out of the park with this master stateroom. All right, let's check out the other ones. And now we'll go down into the starboard side VIP stateroom. All right, starboard side VIP stateroom. That has an ensuite head, which we'll take a look at in a sec. Large hull window, so great natural light. Great place to hang out underway or at anchor. Blinds, of course, reading lights, storage, large hanging locker here. And let's check out this head. So great, good sized shower, easy to get in, close the door. And looks like we have an opening hatch up top. This goes up to the side deck. We have an opening hatch here. It's frosted for privacy. This one up here has a really heavy tint on it. Oh, and it does have a privacy shade. So you got privacy all around. Under the stairs, going down to the starboard side stateroom, we have the washer dryer. A couple of locks over the step right there. And it just lifts itself up. There it is. All right, and now we'll go down into the port side stateroom. This is the 3rd stateroom or the guest stateroom. And also is the shared head, the day head. So the day head is here. It's also a dry head. So the boat has three dry heads, meaning 3 heads with separate shower stalls. Good sized shower, plenty of room, all of the same kind of luxurious accents with the stone as the other stateroom or the other heads. Also an opening window that's frosted for privacy. And same as this, the head on the other side of the boat. Opening hatch above, privacy shade. That opens right into the side deck. And then moving aft, we have the 3rd stateroom, the guest stateroom. So this one is cool. The berths split into 2. They can be moved together or split apart. So this side's fixed in place and this side is on a track. I've unlocked it. There's a spring-loaded barrel bolt down there to lock it in position, and it slides over just like that. So you can have a single bed like this or 2 beds separate. And more storage over here. And a hanging locker here. Just like the other side, large hull window, lots of natural light, blind for privacy, opening hatch right up here with a bug shade or bug screen or sunshade, USB outlets. Of course, there's air conditioning and heat in all of the staterooms. I haven't talked about the carpet yet. The carpet is snap-in. It's really soft, really comfortable carpet. But if you didn't want carpet, which some people prefer not to have it, or for removal for cleaning, it snaps in, which is nice. Some technical details. This is just forward going down to the master. We have access to the AC and DC breakers for the boat. So AC on this side, DC on this side, and the inverter control is right here. So to turn on the inverter, it's very simple, really. You just turn on the inverter here, and then back at the AC power selection panel, you just select the inverter as the power source. And next we're going to check out the engine rooms of the M48. So being a catamaran, the boat has 2 engine rooms, port side, starboard side. The port side engine room has a little bit more technical equipment in it. To move this gate out of the way, you just lift and then it locks into place. All right, so we're down in the port side engine room, kind of, sort of, almost. So the engine, I say that because the engine is one more layer down. All right, before we go down that next layer into the engine room, let's go over some of this stuff. Here's that water filter for the ice maker. Garmin system, so this is where the different Garmin components plug in, like radar, autopilot. We have shore power selection overrides, so the AC power selection overrides, so shore power generator. These are you'd normally do these up at the panel on the inside, but you can override here. We have a battery charger for the generator. This is the water separator for the generator exhaust. So it goes through there, the water goes through the bottom, and then the gases go out the side. That makes the generator run quite a bit quieter. Another battery charger. Let's see. No, that is the inverter. Excuse me. That's the inverter. And then over here we have the cable reels for the cable master system. The shore power comes into the boat back there by that port side swim platform. The two lines. So we have the main shore power breakers, generator breakers, and then the shore power goes to these selection boxes. So you can select generator or shore power for AC power. Back here we have access to the top of the rudder and the engine exhaust, and really quite a bit more storage space. There's a lot of room back there. All right, now we're going to take a look at the engine. So the boat has 2 Volvo D4 320s, dual rake cores, so dual fuel filters, so you can isolate one to change it. So it simplifies changing fuel filters, and if you were to pick up bad fuel, that is a very nice system to have. We have the raw water intake and strainer for the generator, access right there. Raw water intake for the engine is down on the hull bottom, and the strainer is on the engine. The panel right here I'm not going to remove, but this can be removed or lifted similarly to this for access to the other side of the engine. And that is the port side engine room of the M48. Let's take a look at the starboard side. All right, now we're in the starboard side engine room of the M48. There's a lot less going on in here. Most of the non-engine technical equipment and the power stuff is over on that port side. Here we have the starboard side engine, another D4 320, of course. Dual rake cores, again, same system as on the other side. And a vacuum, cordless vacuum. So the other thing worth noting about these spaces, I keep using the S word, the storage word. There's a ton of storage on this boat, a ton of spaces dedicated for storage. This is a space that isn't necessarily dedicated for storage because you need to sometimes access the engines. But the truth is, I mean, you can use this space for storage a lot when you're not getting, and just move your stuff away from the hatch, and then you have access to the engine. I wouldn't overload this space with storage, but throw a couple stand-up paddle boards, deflated stand-up paddle boards down here, definitely. Something else to note in the cockpit is it has a full enclosure, and it rolls up into these areas real nicely. I have not deployed one of these yet on this boat. I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know that I'm gonna do the whole enclosure because rolling it back up will be a lot of work, but let's see how this goes. I'm tearing away some Velcro. That's what that sound is. And a zipper. There we go. All right, 3 clips. Nice. You can do a fast forward through this thing. Okay, and then looks like we remove this. All right, so there's one section of 3. That was my first time doing that on this boat. It was pretty self-explanatory, made a lot of sense. Looks like the aft section and the port side section are about the same thing. You unzip it from the sleeve, rolls down. It's probably got the same straps and clips. Everything, there's snaps on the sides, these straps to snug everything up, and it even attaches into the deck with a stainless fitting down here. And I can see where there's 2 more, and those are probably a part of the aft section. So, and then there's a zipper here. So this piece would be your doorway in the side, which you could open or remove. And nice enclosure, nicely thought out, nicely designed. I like it. All right, it's time for some performance testing on the M48. We're on Lake Washington, so freshwater, no wind, no current, and full fuel. So we're gonna go in one direction, record speeds at different RPMs and fuel consumption. Well, let's start with idle. Slowing it down to idle. 700 RPMs, 3.5 knots, 3.45 knots, 5.8 nautical miles per gallon. Oh, and 0.6 gallons per hour total. All right, increasing to 1,000, 4.7 knots. Okay, 1.1 gallons per hour and about 4.5 nautical miles per gallon. Increasing to 1,500, 6.9 knots, 2.7 gallons per hour, about 2.6 nautical miles per gallon. Increasing to 2,000. Speed is 9 knots. Fuel consumption 5.8 gallons per hour, which translates to 1.56 nautical miles per gallon. So a nautical mile and a half per gallon, a little better than that. So with 317 gallons of fuel, that's about 500 miles. That would give you no reserve, so can't do that. But comfortably 400 plus with reserve. Technically, let's see, let's do a 10% reserve. 317 times 0.9, 285 times 1.6, 456 nautical miles. 456 nautical miles. All right, increasing speed to 2,500. All right, 10 knots, 11.9 gallons per hour, and 0.84 nautical miles per gallon. Increasing to 3,000. 12.2 knots, 19.1 gallons per hour, 0.65 nautical miles per gallon. Increasing to 3,500. 16.5 knots, 16.7, 16.8 knots, 26.3 gallons per hour, and 0.65 nautical miles per gallon. And wide open throttle, 3,700 RPMs, 18.4 knots, 18.5 knots, 33.1 gallons per hour, and 0.58 nautical miles per gallon. All right, I'm gonna drop it back down to, well, here's 3350. Let's cross this boat's wake and see what happens. Test the stability. So 15.5 knots, Let's cross at a little bit of an angle. See if we can make this cat rock. Ooh, feels pretty good. Smooth. Decent sized wake. That was a, I think a 58 Meridian, so decent sized boat. Let's cross over it again. But no, almost zero side to side rock. And we just crossed it again. Almost zero rock or sway. It rides over the wake, but it doesn't really rock back and forth. So stable. It's that catamaran hull shape. And we're crossing it again. A little bit up and down, but no side to side. So that is the performance test of the M48. All right, so here we have the performance specs on the M48. We collected all the data in knots and nautical miles, which you can see on the screen here. So as you can see, the top speed was 18.5 knots. There was a high cruise speed range from 12 to 16 in that 3,000 to 3,500 RPM range, where there was kind of a plateau in efficiency, where we were getting approximately 0.7 nautical miles per gallon, giving the boat a range of 185 miles. We're going to switch over to statute miles real quick, and you can see that on the screen now. So in statute miles, 21.3 miles per hour top speed, and you can see the range numbers have updated. That best mix of efficiency and speed to extend the cruising range significantly was 9 knots, which in statute miles is 10.4 miles per hour. And you can see the range with a 10% reserve is over 500 miles. And then if you slow it down to about 7 knots, which was about 8 miles per hour, the range is up in the 800s with a 10% reserve. So really good fuel economy, 9 knots and below, but the ability to go a little faster, cover some more ground, and still have a couple 100-mile cruising range with a reserve. All right, so let's see what that translates to in real world. Let's put it on the screen. So starting in Seattle, we're going to create a route, automatic route creation with the Navionics boating app. All right, we'll start in just outside of Ballard Locks at Shill Shoal. And let's zoom out here. Let's see, drop a pin right in the middle of the islands, the San Juan Islands. All right, so you can see over on the left-hand side of the screen, about 75 miles, 74.4 miles. So this, I have the unit set to statute miles currently. So 75 miles, you could do that obviously at any speed in the M48. There would not be any range issues. And if we wanted to go further, let's move that that point, the end point, up to Princess Louisa Inlet up in BC. All right, so that is 205 miles. So you could do that trip with a fuel stop at a high cruise speed, and of course there's plenty of places to stop for fuel along the way. So 12, 14 knots, even 16 knots, you could run there with one fuel stop, or you could do that. You could do there and back from Seattle at 9 knots and have some fuel left over. So no fuel stops, Princess Louisa and back from Seattle with fuel left over. So alternatively, if you're a Portland boater and you're boating down on the Columbia River, let's see how far we can go. So we'll create a route starting near Sundance, and let's go east. You can go all the way up the Columbia River to the Snake River and all the way to Lewiston, Idaho. 347 miles. So you could do that trip at 9 knots with no fuel stops, or you could do it with 1 or 2 fuel stops at a higher speed. And of course, there are plenty of places to stop for fuel along the river. Go in the other direction, starting just by Sundance. Let's see how many miles to the San Juans. So 355.7 miles. So that is a trip that you could do at 9 knots with no fuel stops, or at a higher speed with probably one fuel stop. Looks like, yeah, one fuel stop, probably either Westport or Nia Bay. All right, I have some closing thoughts on the M48 from Prestige. We've spent all day running it around Lake Union, Lake Washington, crawled through every nook and cranny of the boat, and a question has occurred to me: what is the best use case for this boat? The first two that come to mind are number one, as an entertainment platform, and number two, as a ultra comfortable cruising platform. As an entertainment platform, I was just, as we were coming back by Husky Stadium, thinking what a perfect boat this would be for tailgating at Husky Stadium, or next weekend at Seafair. It'd be the ultimate Seafair boat. Of all the boats we saw out on the water today, I just can't imagine. I mean, there certainly was nothing out on the water today that could compare to this as an entertainment platform. I mean, it is a platform. It's a power cat. It's beamy. Everything's spacious and comfortable. So that's the other best use case that I could think of, is as a comfortable cruising platform. If you're cruising at 9 knots or less, you can go far, quite far. You could cruise up the Inside Passage. You could go to Alaska on this boat. You could cruise down the coast of California and into Mexico on this boat. This is not a boat that you would cross an ocean in, like the Atlantic. It just isn't that kind of boat, but it's a great coastal cruiser. And then you can also go fast. If you slow it down, you can go far, or you can go fast with a little bit less range. But it's nice to have the ability to do that too. You can push these forward and get up to 16, 17 knots, cruise at 14, 15 knots very comfortably. And you can do all of that: entertainment, cruising, whatever your use for the boat may be. You do that with stability and comfort. It's just amazing how it just doesn't rock back and forth. Of course, that's the catamaran thing. And comfort-wise, the Salon is spacious and comfortable. It's really that master stateroom that does it for me. That master stateroom, being almost 20 feet wide, is just incredible. And the 3 stateroom, 3 dry head. The fact that it has 3 dry heads is pretty incredible. So Prestige did a great job with the M48. I'm impressed. I can't wait to take it out again. As always, if you'd like to see more, learn more, see one of these in person, contact us at one of our locations in Portland, Seattle, or Blaine. Check out our website at sundanceyachts.com, and thanks for watching the video.